News, my wonderful people. The matter is getting really serious. An editorials writes and says, explaining why Godwin Emefiele must go. In case you are not aware, his home is under siege. The one at Abuja, the one in Lagos, they are all under siege. And the reason is still very sketchy, I must tell you, because they that are asking that he must go have not really told Nigerians what Emefiele has done and why they want him gone like yesterday. So the matter is still very sketchy. We're still looking at the development of things. The Abuja home is not there. The one in Lagos is not there. The SSS have been given a charge to say he must, they must watch out and see what is going on and ensure that he's captured, and he must leave immediately. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, like us, share, subscribe. Let's get all the details. Once again, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, is in the news. General bankers the world over have demanded newspaper headlines as they have sought to tighten monetary conditions to stave off rising prices in their respective economies. As domestic inflation rises recently, Mr. Emefiele, a latecomer to the idea of combing inflation with increases in the central bank benchmark, raise his embrace tightening monetary conditions with gassy and unconditional stress on the people, seemingly abandoning his previous commitment to unbox policies management and measures. He is, however, in the headline for different reasons. Nothing is conventional about domestic security agencies applying to the court for the arrest of a serving Central Bank of Nigeria for charges including, among others, financial terrorism. That the court would not obligate the application or oblige them, and for there have been subsequent demonstrations arguing the action of the State Security Service as part of a plot by vast interests to frustrate the central bank governor policies to tightening money, loose cash in the society. So this conversation, at the very least, the central bank has versed itself on the matters of cash withdrawal limit that is recently hanged on the current redesign scheme. Beyond this, there is increasingly strong evidence that the period assigned for sweeping the new Naira notes for the old one might be too short to effect an ordinary transaction. There are a few local studies around these issues, but anti but ancient evidence suggests that currency swap concern demand are disorderly one would do more harm than good, given that customer spending accounts for about two-thirds of domestic output by their expenditure measure. One can only imagine the demand for the domestic economy from flooring things up. Unfortunately, whether it was his intention to run from office for President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as a card-carrying member of one of the political party a few months back, or his decision to convert large portion of the federal government into cash provided for the central bank Emefiele tenure as central bank governor has been unusual one. The economy continues to hurt from his policies. Domestic inflation is a direct consequence of the nearly 48 billion that the central bank under his watch has lent to the federal government. Output number and the manufacturing sector shrink in the September quarter. Why this promises to worsen the bleak that unemployment is to the domestic economy. It is easy to track the difference domestic businesses are having on the central bank multi-window exchange foreign exchange policy. Premium Times considered that Mr. Emefiele peasant politics was inconsistent with his sundry obligation to the nation as central bank governor. He earlier invited him to resign. There were and remain strong reasons for his sack. The convention of power of the federal government into cash provided for the central bank is a clear breach of the central bank enabling structure. However, we understand that at a federal government that it is itself complicates in its violation of the lack of the law and the moral authority to produce against a rule-breaking central bank governor. However, in his 8 years as in office, Mr. Godwin Emefiele has heaped more problem on the office of the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria than all the governors the central bank had since 1959 put together. Need we add that the market trust in the person, authority, and competence of the central bank are a non-negotiable requirement for a success in the office. Mr. Emefiele is clearly past his best before date as governor of Central Bank of Nigeria. The Buhari government lacked the will to do anything about it. Alas, Mr. Emefiele is not too self-aware either, and so may not heed the call or to act in the case of greater good, still in the interest of Nigeria and its long-suffering people. We are constrained once again to call for his resignation. The best is to have this one son he tried unsuccessfully to run for the elective office. The best now is for him to do the right thing. The rumor continued to spread about his fugitives, him being brushed about as he is a fugitive from justice. His resignation through a fix only is the initial requirement for fixing the country monetary policy space and the antidote for this failed Buhari's administration. So Godwin Emefiele is asked to resign, and we are watching to see how the development will follow. Like I earlier reiterated, his homes, because he has both in Lagos, Abuja, according to what we know, are under siege. Leave us a comment. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, like us, share, subscribe. Bye for now. God bless.